I am sure that many of you have struggled mightily over the years to create flowcharts in Excel. And when you create one, obviously there will be a lot of changes, and every time there is a change, you struggle for hours just to add new boxes, remove boxes, and so on. Well, after this lesson, you'll be able to create flowcharts like the one I have on the screen in a matter of minutes. So let's see how to do this. You go to a new sheet, you click on A1, then you go to Insert, Add-ins, and then you have Visio Data Visualizer. If you don't have this, you can try to get it from Get Add-ins. You type Visio, and then it will appear here. You can click on Add. Again, if you don't have it or it's not free, it means that you might need to install Office 365. Now, if you have installed Visio, you can go to My Add-ins and you'll find it here. So we double click on it and we get a window. If you see at the bottom of this window here, I have Continue without sign in. If you don't have an account, it is fine because the features you can use without having the account are already enough to be able to create flowcharts. If you have an account, you'll be able to share it, you'll be able to print it, and so on. But there are other ways we can share this diagram, and I'm going to show you at the end of this lesson. So let's click on this, and then we select the flowchart that we want. The one that I selected there was the horizontal one, so I'm going to select the horizontal one, and I will get a flowchart with a table. So I'm going to move the flowchart a little bit to the right, and then I'm going to show you how to use this table. Basically, in this table, you have process step ID. So here is the process step. You need to give an ID to each step, and the ID has to be unique. If you have a similar ID like P100, you will have a problem, as you can see here. If you don't have an ID, also you will have a problem. The second thing you have here is the name of the step. So for example, create course module, it's here, it's the name of the step. Then you have next step ID. This is where you have to do work. You need to link this step to the step after it. And if you don't have, for example here, which is the end, and we can see it on the diagram, you don't have a step, so you don't put. Here, for example, P100 goes to P200, which is this one, and as you can see, there'll be an arrow. The complication comes when you have several steps that are coming afterwards. So for example, this module passes review here has a yes and a no. If it's yes, it goes to publish. If it's no, it goes to address feedback. So in order to fix this, you just have to put all the steps afterwards, and you can put a connector label. And you can add. So let's take an example. Here I have the end step at the end. So maybe I could do comma P500, which is the last step here. And then here the connector label could be new. So if I click on refresh, you can see that now I have three arrows. I have one arrow which is the no, one is the yes, and one is the new. And then you have a shape type. So you have so many shapes. This is the decision shape, but I can, for example, put a data shape. And then if I click on refresh, you can see that this has changed. And again, this is a table. This is an Excel table. So if you add something here at the bottom, it won't be a problem. Automatically, when you click refresh, it will take this into account and it will work. So I'm going to show you this. Let's put P1, and then I say new step. And this step, let's just put and let's go here. Instead of P500, I can put P1. If I do refresh, you will see that I get my new step here. So let's start. Let's remove the whole thing. When you remove the whole thing, you can see because I don't have anything here, it will give me an error. So I cannot refresh and get nothing, as you can see. So if you have this problem, you can just drag this. You drag it up, and then you have, let's say, one step. I'm just going to put P1, P1, no step, no connector, and then let's say I have this thing, this decision. I can also delete this reds, and click refresh, you can see that I get my first step, right? So let's do something very simple. We can do, this is receive document. The next step will be P2, connector label we don't have. And then we have, this is not a decision, this is a document. Next we do P2, check blacklist. This is a decision. P3, P4, connector label yes, no. Then I'm gonna say this is a decision. Then I have P3, P4. P3 would be blacklisted. Then it will go to P5 and we'll say this is, for example, sub-process, not blacklisted. We'll do P5, same one, and then we'll do a sub-process. And at the end, P5 will be end. We don't have a next step, and we choose the end logo. So if I do this, you can see that I receive my document, I check the blacklist, it is blacklisted, yes, you get to this step, then you finish the application. If it's not, you get to this step, and then you finish the application. So this is how it works, and as you can see, if I click here at the bottom, I can make it bigger, I can move through it, and if I click here, I can fit it to my window. Now, if I want to share this, one thing I could do is that I do Control Print Screen, and then I go here, I have a snippet tool, and I can just select my diagram, and here I can just send it, I can copy it, I can do all these things, or I can just send the Excel to the other person, and the other person will have the process documented here. So this is an overview of the flowchart. I hope you liked the lesson, so please leave a thumb up to this lesson and subscribe to the channel.